Good morning, or I guess good afternoon or good evening, whenever you're watching this. It's good morning for me. Welcome back to the Woldenburn YouTube channel. I'm Emily, and I am a wife and a mom and a knitter and a crafter and all the things. And today we are going to be doing cast on number 7. Is that right? I'm pretty sure it's right. I'm pretty sure we're on number 7. Cast on number 7 of the 12 cast-ons vlog series that I'm doing. The 12 cast-ons knit along was started by Ange from Yarn and Yarns as a project to a knit along to cast on up to 12 projects between December 24th through January 31st of the following year, with the goal being to just kind of set yourself up for the next however long of making. And I have absolutely been loving participating. This is my first year participating, and it has been the best. I can already foresee myself participating in the years to come. But yeah, I think we're at 7 because it looks like I've got 5 projects up. The way that I am doing it is it's semi-random. I have already picked out different projects and yarns and matched them up, but to help with my decision fatigue that I often get, I have written them all on slips of paper and stuck them in here. I got the idea for that from Kirsty Knits and Sews. She does hers completely random. She has no idea what she's going to be pulling out of her little plant pot, or I think it's a plant pot. But I realized that for me, I needed a little bit more planning than that, but I loved the random aspect of it because I'm somebody who will agonize way too much over decisions, and so this has been amazing. It has been so helpful. I spent probably a couple of weeks ironing out all the projects that I knew I could make with the yarn that I have in my stash, and then I just don't have to make any decisions after that. I just grab it out and go, and it has been just lovely. So helpful for me because I oftentimes get decision fatigue and I'm just like paralyzed because I don't know what's the right decision. So this has been great. Yeah. If you hear any banging or wonking, my 2 boys are outside on our deck that's like right outside, and they have a little digging spot that's right outside the window, which is great because then I can stand here and watch them, but you might hear banging. So, I have not finished out my cast on number 6 vlog, but I figured while the boys are happy and contented and playing outside, that this would be a good time just in case I need to wind up any yarn or something for the project. So all of that being said, let's go ahead and get our next project. Let's see what it is. This is the Pressed Flowers Kerchief. Oh man, I'm very excited about this one. I've been wondering when it was going to pop up. Yes, so the Pressed Flowers Kerchief is a pattern by Amy Christophers. It has 2 F's in the name, and Christopher usually has a PH. So I don't know if it's just Christopher's with a different spelling, or if it's Christophers. Anyway, she has a whole collection of pressed flowers patterns, and it's a mosaic knitting, which I have only done once. Technically, I've done mosaic knitting, I think, in the Fosette crop. I think there's a little bit of mosaic knitting, but not this year anymore because it's 2026. Last year I did a test knit for Neil of Blocked Magazine, and it was a mosaic colorwork sock, and it was so much fun. I actually really enjoyed doing the mosaic work, so I'm excited about this. My plan is I'm going to be turning this, what's supposed to be a kerchief, so it's just a triangle that you can wear in your hair or around your neck. My plan is to turn it into a cowl, and I think it's going to work out great. I hope it's going to work out great. We'll see. I guess you'll be along for the ride as well. I need to check and see because this is technically, it's a free pattern, but it's on the Hobbii website, HOBBII. It's a free pattern on that website, and I'm not sure if you can get it as a PDF or if you just have to access it via the website. I will have to look into that. Let me go grab the yarn and see if I can print the pattern, and I will be back. Okay, yarn and pattern procured. So you can print off the pattern, you just have to sign up for a free Hobbii account, sign up to the newsletter, which is fine because you can always unsubscribe after you're done. Yeah, it's a pretty quick pattern. Here's the schematic for it. And my plan is to actually figure out how to cut off probably 2 repeats worth of the chart. It's worked side to side. So if I can figure out how to cut it off like here and there and then just seam it up at the back, I think that would be perfect. So I just have to have a look through here and see if I can figure out how to do that. I think it'll be just a matter of figuring out how many stitches are in the charts and then being able to cast out from there. So we'll see. We'll see if I can do that. That's my goal. The yarn that I'm using is some Ulysses it's French. So this was sent to me by a lovely friend who lives in France. She sent me this amazing parcel with all these different European yarns, which was just so wonderful and so generous, and I so appreciated it. And so she sent me these 2 colors. My hope is to use this as a main color, this is the contrast color. It's gonna be amazing. So these are 185 meters to 50 grams, and it's 100% wool. I'm assuming this one is sage, but that's the color name. And this one, maybe cedar? I have no idea if that's correct. But yeah, it's really lovely, and I'm so excited to work with it. And then the pattern calls for a US size 6 or 4 millimeter, which I'm just going to go with that. Normally I would go down a needle size because I am quite a loose knitter, looser gauge. I'm a continental knitter, and so my gauge is always looser. But with the mosaic pattern, I'm going to stick with the size 6 just because I know that when I was test knitting the sock, my gauge was definitely tighter over the mosaic work. So that's the plan. I will probably do a quick read through of the pattern now and see if I can figure it out. But I don't think I'm going to cast on until nap time, when I have a little bit more, a higher likelihood of some uninterrupted time. Right now with them playing outside is amazing, but one never knows when they're going to be like, Mama! So I'm going to have a quick read through this, and then I've got, I don't know if you can get, got a giant load of laundry to fold. It's actually 2 loads of laundry, so I'm gonna pop on a podcast and fold some laundry. But that is all for now. I will check back in when I'm casting on. So I have a bit of a rethink. I'm kind of glad I pulled this one out this morning because it's given me the opportunity to kind of mull over it and consider it and figure out if I actually want to do this pattern with this yarn. And I think I like the idea of the pressed flowers pattern, but I don't think that right now I'm in, like, I've looked over the pattern and I think I could modify it to be a cowl, but it would take some thinking, and I think at the moment I'm craving a bit more of some simple projects, some mindless projects, some easy, just pick up and knit type of projects. I think a lot of the projects that I have cast on for 12 cast on so far have involved, they're a bit more involved. And especially right now with my baby, where in the evenings and during nap time I'm having to sit there next to the crib for a bit until he goes to sleep. And so I need something that's just simple. And I know once I get past all these different yokes on these sweaters, I'll have something like that. But right now I don't. And so actually, like, the Miss Marple scarf that I did for my last cast on has been so perfect. It's just that mindless garter stitch, and it's squishy and beautiful, and I am just absolutely loving it. So I'm thinking I'm actually going to do a little switching around. I still want to use this yarn. I so badly want to use this yarn. But I think what I might actually do is still make a cowl. Still use the yarn, still make a cowl. Gotta peek on the boys every now and then. They're doing so good. I just texted my sister a little bit ago where I was like, I feel like we've hit a milestone. Like, they're just playing, and they're playing outside by themselves. They've been out there for like an hour and a half, and they're doing fantastic. And it's just, especially after the weeks plus of wonky sleep, and even this morning the baby was up at he's missing a shoe now. The filth that they get on their clothes, the amount of dirt and mud. I think my toddler went through like 3 outfits yesterday because he's still potty training, and so he just peed his pants. I was like, buddy, why? Now the sun's gone away a little bit. I opened this curtain. Anyway, that was a sidetrack. I want to use the yarn. I want to make a cowl. But I'm just looking at this and just squishing it, and I think what I'm going to do, I'm still going to make it a little bit challenging, but super fun. I am going to kind of do my own pattern, and I'm going to make a cowl, a bandana cowl. I've pretty much like, bandana cowls are the only type of cowls I want to make, and I want to make so many of them. They're so fun to knit, and they're so easy to wear. But my plan is, because I would love it if I could use every bit of this yarn and just absolutely get it out of my stash. My plan is I'm going to go through my knitting stitch dictionaries. I think I have 2 or 3. Technically, I have a couple of the Barbara G. Walker ones, but I'm not going to mess with those right now. Just my basic, simple ones. I think I have like the knitting up, down, all around knitting, like the first knitting stitch dictionary by, I think it's Wendy Bernard. I think there's that one, and then I have one other one. And those 2 are my favorites that I have right now, just because I haven't actually delved into the Barbara G. Walker ones, if that is what I have. I just found a couple at either Goodwill or the library book sale. I'm going to go through those, and I'm going to pick out some like texture stitch patterns and do almost like a sampler cowl. I don't have a piece of paper here. That's not going to work. Well, I guess I can do it in my knitting journal because I'll need to do it anyway, and so I'll just do kind of a beginning for the project. And it was perfect. I have an empty page here, just waiting for this pattern. So here we go. Let's see here. Well, no, because then it's going to be increases that way. Okay, okay. Oh, I can't tell how to get the lines on here, but you'll kind of get the idea. Here we go. We're just going to go like this and just, this isn't exactly the construction of the cowl, but I don't know how off the top of my head to draw it out. But basically, so I've got my dark yarn and my light yarn to do alternating patterns of each color and a different stitch pattern for each section, and then seam it up the back. Basically, it's the same construction as like a pretty little cowl, and I think that would be very fun. I love the look of like the sampler cowls, and I think it would be just gorgeous with this yarn. And I want to use it, like that's the thing, but then I was like, the more I was thinking about it, I was like, I just really don't want the complexity of a mosaic project right now. I already have my colorwork yoke sweater, and colorwork is not my favorite. I love the look of it, so much so, but it's just not my favorite, and I would vastly prefer stripes or some sort of other simple color work rather than stranded color work or even mosaic color work. I'm just not in the mood right now. And again, this is kind of the beauty of this whole thing, is that there are no rules saying I absolutely have to make what I picked out of the bowl. I can make my own rules. So I think that's what we're going to do. I think it's about time to get the boys in for lunch, and then there's a baby wandering towards the house with one little shoe and one little sock. I think that would be fun. At nap time, I'll kind of pull out my Stitch dictionaries and have a look and see what I can see. And I think that that's going to be perfect. Because I love the idea of doing garter, but I kind of want to do something a little different than just garter. So maybe one option would be that, because my worry is with the darker green, I pulled the tag off to weigh it. With the darker green, it might be harder for the different textures to show up. So one option would be to have all the dark green sections just be garters, so I can have lovely squishy garter sections, and then all of the light green sections be some sort of a texture. That would be an option. Part of me is trying to figure out how to incorporate some feather and fan stitch. Or a chevron type of a stitch of some kind, because that would be really fun to have the two of them. That would be an option if I wanted to just do a chevron stitch cowl. We'll see. I have to have a think about this one. This one's going to be a little bit more thinking heavy. Anyway, I'm going to go check on the baby, get them some lunch and whatnot, and I'll be back. I'll be back when I have something to share. Okay, I'm very rapidly losing light. Hopefully the camera doesn't shake too much, but I thought I'd quickly show you the two Stitch dictionaries I have. I have this one, Up, Down, All Around Stitch Dictionary, and it is by Wendy Bernard. And I have this one, which is Knit Stitch Dictionary by Debbie Tomkes. And I know that in this one, there is a texture stitch pattern that I have. It's this one, the Beehive Waffle there, this one. I have loved that pattern for so long, and I attempted to start designing a cowl pattern with it like years ago, so that one will probably be incorporated somehow. But I think what I'm really going to be looking for is simple, easy to remember pattern repeats or stitch repeats, and like cozy, squishy sorts of texture. So I'm going to take a peek at these two books and report back. Good morning, friends. Whew. Do you ever have those mornings where you wake up and you're just like, I am so grumpy and cranky, and I woke up on the wrong side of the bed today sort of thing? Oh man, I'm having one of those days where it's like everything I try to do, like I try and do some exercises and the boys get pesky, and I try and get my hair done or whatever for the day so that I can feel a little bit better, and they're pesky, and it's just, I get so irritated. And then I get frustrated because I'm irritated. I have encouraged the boys outside to get all mucky and muddy and whatnot, work off some energy, and I'm going to go through and clean up the house. We had some people over last night, which is great. It was some of my brother-in-laws, and so my husband had a great time, but there's a bit of tidying and sorting to do that I would normally do in the evening, but we had people here, so I didn't. And then the boys, of course, like first thing this morning, got up and dumped out like 3 tubs of toys. So I need to go and tidy those up, and then hopefully I can kind of sit and watch my beautiful little children play out in the yard, do a little bit of knitting, have a little bit of Jesus time. It's kind of what I feel like I need. I feel like I need some Jesus this morning. I've been listening to some old Keith Green songs, which is just amazing. I love a lot of his songs. But yeah, so I'm gonna drink my tea, tidy up, clean up. I'm trying to work on some knitting. I got a little bit of work done. Let's talk about knitting, considering this is a knitting vlog. So this is an update I have. I have started on my cowl. This is the granite stitch, and I'm really liking how it's working. It's working well with the increased pattern that I am doing. And I will be honest that the thing that was intimidating me the most about this was remembering that I had to increase every other row in order to get the bandana cowl shape that I want. And so then I was like, well, how am I gonna like get the stitch pattern into the new increases? And I know how to do that. I know how to work in pattern, but it's just the fact that I don't have somebody holding my hand and telling me how to do it that's like intimidating. But I'm doing it, and it's looking good, and I'm excited about it. So I'm going to probably do twice as much as this, maybe a little bit more in the granite stitch before I switch to another stitch, which that reminds me. I actually, consistently, this book has been considerably better as far as the stitches and stuff than the Up Down All Around Stitch Dictionary. This one I have loved way more. I have used it a lot more, and yeah, it just overall has been considerably better in my mind. But my plan is that I'm going to, if I can find it, my goodness, where did it go? I think I went too far. My plan is I'm going to do the granite stitch, then I am going to alternate to another stitch, here we go, we're almost there, that has this one, the bee stitch, there, the two-color bee stitch. I'm going to do the two-color bee stitch in both colors of yarn. Then I'm going to do the cartridge belt rib. You can see that. This one right here. I'm going to do that one in the dark green. And then I'm going to do, let's see, where did it go? The garter striped chevron to finish off the cowl. And hopefully that all looks right. Because yeah, I like the idea of alternating solid color and dual color sections. So far, like I said, the granite stitch is going great. I kind of wanted it to be textured and cozy and lovely and nice, and so I feel like it's off to a good start. This yarn is really interesting to work with. It's not like anything I've worked with before. It has kind of a spongy feel, but it's also got a grippy sort of a feel. I don't know. It's fun. I don't mind working with it. It's just different. I'm used to working with very much like the superwash hand-dyed merino type yarns. And this is not that, which is totally fine. But yeah, so then I'm just trying to kind of figure out how big of sections to do to make sure that I have enough yarn to do all of it. And I know I have slightly more of the light green than the dark green. So, but anyway, that is my little update for this morning, and I will check back in a little bit later. I've got to get the next intro to my next vlog. Oh man, the baby already lost a shoe. I'm gonna go put a shoe on the baby and get cleaning up. That's what I'm gonna do. Alrighty friends, I am here to film the wrap up for cast on number 8. I'm starting to like lose the numbers. So this is the cowl that I'm knitting out of these two yarns. This is the Ulysses. I realize it's the I don't know how to pronounce it, but the Durum Natura, something like that yarn. That's what the line is. So it's 100% wool, sport weight. And I'm working on a cowl. And here's what we're looking at. I've got all this granite stitch, which I really, really like the look of. And then what I did is I transitioned it to some garter stitch, and then I transitioned it into this bee stitch. Now, I like all of these things. I'm a little worried because I've realized that the granite stitch is it stretches just fine, but it's one of those stitch patterns where like the stitch count gets halved on one row and then it gets brought back to what it should be on the next row. So that's what it's doing. But then as you can see, if my needles will cooperate, I've got all of this, which is looking just beautiful. I absolutely love how this part is looking. And then it just goes whoop, and it kind of jumps out like that, which I don't love. I don't know if that's something I could fix with blocking. I don't know if that's something that wouldn't be visible in the finished cowl. I don't know. So I'm a little torn on what to do. I think I'm leaning towards just keeping going and just seeing what happens. And this will be my experimentation cowl. Cause yeah, it's like the garter stitches. I've been increasing one stitch every other row. You can look at this. It goes like straight up. Not quite straight up, but like that. Because it gets so much stretchier once you're past the granite stitch section. I don't know that I love that. I don't think you would notice it when you're wearing it at all. I don't think that'd be that big of a deal. But I need to kind of have a think about that. And see. Yeah, I'm not sure. So that's where we're at. We'll see what I do with this and if I end up continuing it or if this ends up getting frogged and reworked. I think it would be really pretty to do the granite stitch throughout the whole cowl. That would be really lovely. And I am a little tempted to do that. I am tempted to pull back to where I started doing the garter stitch and just go back to doing the granite stitch. And then what I would do is do a section of striping the light green and the dark green, and then go into a section of the dark green and just do it all in granite stitch. That would be one option, and then see how it goes from there. I'm not sure because I do really like how this bee stitch is looking. So I'm gonna have to have a think about this one and figure out what I want to do. I think I am leaning towards pulling back and continuing in the granite stitch, and then maybe trying to do the bee stitch on the end. That could be an option. I just don't know because I don't want it to flare out funny, even on the end. Yeah. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I want to do. Yeah, I'll have to have a think about it. But I am really enjoying working with the yarn. It's really nice and lovely. It's like slightly rustic feeling, but soft, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like this is going to be such a warm cowl if and when I can get it done. Yeah, I'm actually really loving how this granite stitch is looking. I'm almost tempted to just do the whole thing in the granite stitch because it's just, yeah, I really, really like it. The thing is, I wanted to try and do something a little bit different and not just do it all like in one stitch, but we'll see. I think I am really leaning towards pulling back a section and going for that. I don't know. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this vlog. I hope that you have enjoyed it. I know it's kind of been up and down and trying to figure out what on earth I'm going to be doing, but I've been really enjoying it. I've been really enjoying working with this yarn. So, I thought I'd made a decision with this cowl. I really thought I had. I filmed my outro bit. I thought I was done and good to go. I was sitting here thinking about it, and I just think I'm actually going to frog this and go back to the pressed flower cowl. Because I think I really do want it. I really do. I think I drew it on the wrong day, and I probably should have thrown it back in and drawn something else because I just wasn't feeling up to that challenge. But I think I do want it. Now that I've had it a couple of days and I was just thinking about it, I was like, oh man, like it's kind of sad. Like I really do like the idea of doing that, and I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to go back to my original plan. I think that's what we're going to do. I'm nervous about messing it up, and I think that that's the thing that I have to remember is that it's okay to mess it up. I can rip it out and I can start over, and that's okay. Yeah. So I think that's what I'm going to do. This vlog is like all over the place. This is a whole ride and a whole adventure. Back right where we started, so that's what I think we're gonna do. I'm gonna sit down here, I'll have a couple of minutes, my husband's watching the kids, and see if I can figure this out. So, let's see what happens. I do like this cowl idea though. I think I'm gonna go stick with the granite stitch for a different cowl, but just not in this yarn. I want this yarn to be something special and beautiful and wonderful, and yeah. So I really do like the granite stitch. I think it would make for a very, very nice cowl. But yeah, this is going to be a pressed flowers cowl. Alrighty friends, now I'm actually closing out this vlog. My goodness, this one has been a roller coaster of a run, hasn't it? I don't know, I psyched myself out of trying this cowl, and I've been working on it. I love it so much. I'm a little embarrassed of how overwhelmed I was feeling. I was just overcomplicating things. I looked at it, and what I ended up deciding to do is the pattern starts with you cast on 4 stitches. I just cast on 24 stitches. I just added in 20 extra stitches because all that this section is like a knit one, slip one. That's it. So I just added in 20 extra stitches, and then I've been following the pattern as written. So the pattern would be, you know, 4 inches shorter here. More like this, maybe. And it has been working absolutely fine. Totally fine. I didn't need to complicate it. And I am loving this so, so much. It is... I am worried that I'm going to be playing some yarn chicken. Very, very much so. Just because... this is definitely using a significant amount more of yarn because I have, you know, 4 inches more of it. So I need to weigh my main skein and see where I'm at with that. Because I have, like I've mentioned, I have a little bit more of this one than of the darker green. And I had 53 grams of this to start with. So my plan is to go until I have around 25 grams left. And then, because it says to use just under half, so if I get like 24 or 25 grams, somewhere in there, left, or no, when I've used up 24 to 25 grams, so then I have the like 28 or something grams of yarn left, then I start the decreases. And hopefully that'll be big enough, because I need it to be big enough, in order for this to be a cowl, I need it to be big enough to wrap all the way around my neck and not feel like it's strangling me. So I've got a good section more that I would need to do in order to go halfway around my neck. So I'm really, really hoping that I have enough. If I don't, I'm not exactly sure what I'll do. I may just end up doing a knit one, slip one, knit one, slip one, but just do it in the light colored yarn on this side of the other side. And see if I have enough to finish it up that way. I'm not sure, but I am just loving this. This is some of the most fun colorwork knitting that I have ever done. It is so simple and so easy, and I'm already scheming up more of these. I have this really bright, fun, on a sparkle base yarn from Mystery Mouse Yarn Co. and it's a fingering weight. And I also have like a light, almost white skein of yarn from Mystery Mouse Yarn Co. And I realized that would be so fun to have the variegated as the main skein and the white as the pops of the flowers. very excited about that. And I would probably try and just do it as a fingering weight and go from there and see what happens. And then the flowers and everything would be a lot smaller and more delicate. So that's a potential. Or I could just hold it double and do it as DK. But yeah, thoroughly enjoying this. Highly recommend it. Like I said, all that I did differently to turn this into a cowl rather than a kerchief is I just cast on 20 extra stitches, and then I'm following the pattern as written. Like, that's it. So I can definitely see myself making a few of these. I understand now why Shauna from Shauna Stitches made like 6 pressed flower hats or whatever crazy number of hats it was that she made, because it's fun. It's so much fun. It's so simple and so easy, and it's all like garters, so there's hardly any purling. You only have purling right over the flowers, but the rest of it is just knit, 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 and it is amazing. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. So highly recommend the pattern, highly recommend you check it out. Again, it's a free pattern, and yeah. So all that to say, I am glad in a way that I kind of went through the whole process with this project that I have, because it has helped me start thinking through, I would love it if for 2026 I could design a knitting pattern, a cowl. I would love it if I could design like 6 different cowls, all bandana cowls of like different construction and stitch patterns and stuff. I would love that. So I don't think that any of this time was wasted or anything like that. I think that it was really good because it kind of helped my brain process a couple of things. It definitely made me recognize that writing out how to stay in pattern while also doing increases is no joke. So that was helpful information. But yeah, so it's been a little bit all over the place, but it's been good. And now I have this project that I am thoroughly enjoying, and it's exactly as I envisioned it. Like, that's funny. Like, we did a whole like 360, or is it 360 or is it 180? No, 180 is halfway. We went back to the beginning, so the whole 360. Where I started with, this is the project I wanted to do, then I switched to something else, and then I'm back to this project. So yeah, it's lovely. But that is all that I have to say for this one. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope that you've been enjoying all of the different 12 cast ons content that you can find, and I will see you on the next one. Bye!